the name of the Lord your God in vain. This commandment is broken universally today with the three letters OMG. It's broken over and over and over again. The commandment is broken when we confess Jesus to be Lord, but do not follow Him as Lord. Or when we call God Father, but do not trust Him as the loving parent He is. That commandment is broken. No one has ever kept that commandment perfectly except Jesus. Next one. Now Pastor, here's where we shine. We keep this one really good. What's the commandment? Remember what? The Sabbath day by what? Keeping it holy. The Lord blessed and made the Sabbath day holy. Do you think you actually perfectly follow this commandment every Sabbath of your life? I suggest no one but Jesus kept this commandment perfectly. The life keeps going. Honor your what? Your father and your mother. Our parents are the first human authority God sets over us. Yet we all rebel against authority, and where does it usually begin? At the home. At times it seems that the home is where we are particularly rude, disobedient, and ungrateful. I suggest Jesus is the only one that kept this commandment perfectly. The next one. As the spotlight continues to shine, you shall not what? Well, Pastor, that's one I've never broken. I have never gone out. Never. I hear about people like that and they go to jail and prison all the time. But Pastor, that's one I've never broken. Read what Jesus says about that commandment. This commandment concerns more than the taking of another person's life. It also concerns damaging his or her reputation in any way. Remember what Jesus said about anyone who gets angry with his brother? Check it out. Jesus taught that we can murder by neglect, spite, gossip, slander, and many other acts flowing from our own pride or jealousy. Jesus is the only one that kept this commandment perfectly. Next one. I don't have to explain this one in our society today. I don't have to go in detail about this one. This commandment embraces every abuse of a sacred and beautiful gift of God. Next one. You shall not what? Steal. We can even steal from God directly when we neglect to give Him the worship, honor, thanksgiving, and obedience He deserves. This commandment goes way beyond most cultures who also have this law. They say you shouldn't steal because that's the law. In reality, when you steal from somebody, you're stealing from God because God blesses people with things. You shall not steal. Keep going. What about this one? You shall not bear what? In other words, you shouldn't what? Lie. This commandment condemns all slander, idle talk, gossip, unkind rumors, jokes at another's expense, lies, and deliberate exaggeration or distortion of the truth. Once again, I suggest you only Jesus kept this commandment perfectly. You and I never have kept it perfectly. Now we come to the biggie. And on the right side of the devil, this is the biggie. You shall not what? Covet. There is probably no other command that so exposes this characteristic of sin of our time and our generation. This commandment, when you break this commandment, you affect all the other 9. This commandment, if no other commandment, describes the condition of our world today. Because we live in what? A materialistic society. And this one is broken often. Wow. Have you had enough? Did we do well to show what Paul was trying to say? That spotlight, I would not have come to know sin except through what? The spotlight. And I haven't got time here. I could have spent a half an hour in each one of those commandments to get them even more detailed, but that's quite painful. What conclusion have we come to? Who kept the commandments perfectly? Only one. Jesus. Only one. So, maybe we better turn the spotlight off. Okay, it's off. It's not there any longer. You don't have to look at the reflection. You don't have to look at the details. And that makes us feel oh so much more comfortable. Anyone want it back on? You want it back on? Okay. We have 3 minutes. We're going to turn it back on. Folks, I believe the more we read and understand the law, the greater our sin will seem to be. And that it will continue until Paul himself cried out. What did he cry out? Wretched man that I am, who will rescue me from this body of death? What do you answer to that?